I wanted to show you how you can use your multi-cooker or whatever pressure cooker you have to make your own yogurt. How awesome is that? That way you know exactly what's in it. There's two methods you can use to make yogurt in a pressure cooker, like a multi-cooker. You can use a normal method where you use whole milk, and a lot of times you'll add a little bit of dry milk to it to add protein. And what you do is you heat that up to about 80 to 200 degrees, stirring it constantly. And then you let it cool down to about 120 degrees. And then you add what we call a starter. Just like sourdough bread has a starter, well, when you make yogurt, you have to have a starter. I'm going to use this Greek plain yogurt. It does have to have live cultures in it. So you want to make sure that when you read the ingredient list, which I know I don't know if you can see that or not, but that it does have active cultures. You have to have that or it will not set up. And then once it cools down to about 120, you stir in your live culture, and then you incubate it or put it on the yogurt setting for about 8 to 10 hours, something like that. That works out great. You get nice, thick yogurt, and you can refrigerate it and use it at that point. I'm going to do a cold start yogurt. And that, with the cold start yogurt, excuse me, my nose itches, you don't have to heat your milk prior, but you do have to use ultra-filtered milk. And ultra-filtered milk is a process where it takes out a lot of the sugars in milk, so you have more protein, more calcium, and less sugars, which I like. So it will not work with regular milk, the cold start process. You must use the high filtered milk. And Fairlife is a good brand. There are others, but this is what I'm using today. So let me turn, I'm gonna jaunt you a minute, but let me turn the camera around and let me get things a little set and locked down. So this is my multi-cooker. And I forgot I need to grab, this will work for me. Let me zoom you out a little bit. What I'm going to do is, you want to make sure your pot's clean, your seal's clean, everything's real clean. In your multi-cooker or whatever pressure cooker you have, I'm going to pour off about a half a cup, a little over, of milk. And the rest is going in here in my multi-cooker. And just pour that in. And then what I'm going to do is add some of my starter to this half cup here. Now it says you can add about 2 tablespoons. It doesn't hurt if you add a little extra. I normally do because I just like to let it set up well. So, and I'll eat the rest of that. And you want to mix this together. And you want to make sure to mix it well because you want the starter to get evenly distributed in the milk. And then I'm going to pour it in here and mix that all up with my stainless steel mini whipper. I love this thing. So I like to eat yogurt. I like plain yogurt. I like yogurt with berries on it also. It's great in smoothies. Making your own, you know exactly what you put in. You know there's no added sugars or anything like that. And it's easy. So I've got my milk in. I've got my starter in. I'm going to put my lid on. Let's see if I can get you closer. I may jostle you a moment. So I can put you down here. Okay. And then I'm going to scroll over to yogurt. And I'm going to press my button once, and I'm going to set it for 9 hours. And I press it. And that's all I do until the end. Let me turn my camera around again and set you up. You want to incubate the yogurt somewhere between 8 to 10 hours. The longer you incubate it, the more tangy it becomes. And it'll set up. You can take the lid off, test it, how thick it is, if it's set up. If it's not quite done, you can put it on for another hour or whatever. Once it's done and it's how I like it from the multi-cooker, I'll then refrigerate it to let it set up and thicken more. If you want a Greek yogurt consistency, many times I'm very happy with how it is when it comes out of here. But if you want it thicker, you can get some cheesecloth and strain it, or they have yogurt strainers also. I used to have one, I don't anymore. But you can do that. And then I put my yogurt in a couple of like quart mason jars and stick it in the fridge. It's good for a couple weeks, a week to 2 weeks. I eat it. I love putting, a spoonful, heaping, whatever, spoonful on the dog's food. It's really healthy for dogs. We have big dogs, German Shepherds, so it's good for their bones and joints and their fur, and it's got a lot of vitamins and protein for them, so it's great for the dogs and me. And I like, when I make it, I know exactly what's in it, so I know I'm not giving my dogs extra sugar, because extra sugar or additives, flavorings is not good for your dogs if you feed them yogurt. But it's so easy to make your own yogurt, to use your pressure cooker. You don't have to just use it for pressure cooking and, building the pressure and the steam. You can use it for things like this also. 2 quart jars.